guys, today is Sunday. It is July 24th and it's an exciting day for me because today the chicken coop is being delivered. We're up bright and early. It's only about 7:35 and I just got the girls up and moving. Shawn is outside moving the tractors right now because, sorry if you can hear the dogs barking, the delivery of the coop is about an hour and a half away. The guy that's delivering it texted me this morning and said that he was leaving and he should be here around 9 o'clock. So it's a really good thing because these chicks are really outgrowing this brooder. And the only reason we've kept them in here is because we knew it was coming, but they're getting really big and this is just too small for them anymore. So we've been putting them during the daytime out in their new run, and they've been enjoying that, but obviously since we're going to be working on it this morning, we can't do that. So today what we have to do before the coop comes is we have to clear out the area. So Shawn's moving the tractor. He moved the little tractor a minute ago. We need to move all of our cars out of the way so when the truck comes, it can get back here. And we kind of have to dismantle the run. We're going to move that log out of the way and move the run out of the way so they can put the coop down, and then after they leave we can move the run back. So we've got a lot to do this morning and only an hour and a half to get it done. The girls are a little groggy this morning because it is an early morning, so we'll go ahead and get started. So we got everything moved out of the way and the coop is gonna go there as far back as we can, and then once it's delivered we'll move the run back in front here. And we've had the chickens here for the last few days in that run and we love them being in this area. One of the reasons that it's such a good area is because when the dogs are just chilling, they lay either under the house there to keep cool, or if there's trucks or vehicles or tractors here, they lay under there. But wherever they choose to lay, they have a straight view of the chickens. So they do a good job of, you know, just kind of watching out for other predators or animals or anything. So we've got about 35 minutes or so until it's supposed to be here. So we're just kind of doing some last minute stuff. I think I'm gonna go water my plants before it gets to be too late. All right, so the big truck is, I think, trying to make it up the driveway right now. We saw it pass by. Bailey and I were out there watering plants and we saw it pass by. So we know he's here. He's just down the hill a little bit. So we'll see how he can get up the driveway. It's a tight squeeze, but we've had some big rigs come up there before. So I think Shawn's going down to talk to him and talk about how he can come up. And while they're making their way up the driveway, I want to take you over to my garden and show you just how it's going. I've been able to actually harvest a few tomatoes over the last couple days, which is exciting, and they taste really good. Shawn loves them, which is nice. And this morning I found a zucchini. I guess I didn't realize or remember that I planted zucchini. So there's some tomatoes in there. I'm waiting on them to get a little bit more red. They're kind of orangey right now. There's some over there that look really good. That one I think maybe I'll either pick tonight or tomorrow. These are looking good. This bin right here is my most prolific tomatoes. I've got a ton in here in this one bin. So they're starting to get ripe. And then down here let's see, hidden under here. I thought these were all pumpkins, but you can see it under there. I don't know, is that ready to pick? It doesn't look ready to pick, I don't know. And I've got a lot of tomatoes there. That right there, I've got a bunch of those berries crazy tomato. So they're the yellow tomatoes, and I've harvested a lot of those. Those are really good. And as you can see, I never was able to trellis all of my tomato plants up. I got some of them up, but not all of them. So the ones that are laying down, they're still doing pretty good. And I found a few tomato worms in here. Like you can see, that one ate all the leaves off of it. But I've checked every day, and aside from the first day where I found like 7, I haven't found very many at all. So, what?
You see that tomato?
Oh,
Like,
look at that one. It's like a morph. It's like a morph tomato of a bunch of different ones together. So, pretty proud of myself. Like I said, never grown anything, so to see all of this growth is pretty exciting. And I think I'm gonna try, if I can today, once we get the chicken coop set up and the chickens out in it, I may try to actually do a little bit more planting today. I've been watching some videos and reading up, and people are saying it's not too late to plant more in late July, so I'm gonna try to maybe I'll try to throw some more seed down here. And it reminds me, I think I did throw some bean seeds in here. That might be what that is. I forgot what I did throw in here. I did plant something in here, but I have all this area here that I can maybe throw some seeds in. So I'll take a look at what I have later today if I get a chance, because I am back to work full time tomorrow. I'm not ready. I want a few more weeks of summer. All right, enough of my whining. We'll go up and see why they haven't made it up the driveway yet. And the puppies are in puppy jail right now. Harley is there, and I think Maverick is actually in the igloo. He has figured out that it's cool in there. Yep, there he is. Okay, here's the story. I'll tell you this while I'm waiting on the chicken coop to come up here. So we were considering dismantling this cage to extend the chicken run, because ultimately when the dogs get bigger, we're not going to lock them up at night. Right now we lock them up at night for their protection because we don't know what is around the area, and even though they are Great Pyrenees, they're still puppies, so we don't want any animals like coyotes to come and, attack them at night. So for now we lock them up every night, but during the day they're out and free, with the exception of times like this where we want to make sure they're secure when we're having a big delivery. So anyways, Shawn and I were talking about dismantling this and attaching it to the chicken run so that the chickens would have a bigger space. And I think ultimately that's what we plan to do. And yesterday we were having a conversation about, well, maybe we should just go ahead and do that, and let the dogs stay out at night. And so we weren't sure, because we haven't seen any evidence or seen or heard any coyotes. And so Shawn sent a text to our neighbor Sniper Steve across the street, and our neighbor that has the property up here. He has a hunting cabin up there. He's got like 130 acres. He sent them a message and just asked, are there coyotes in the area? And Sniper Steve replied immediately and said, yes, big bunches. And so we said, okay, well, there's the answer to that question. And we decided, then, okay, we'll keep this at least until the puppies are maybe between 6 months and a year. We don't know. And then last night, I was in the laundry room, and I heard the dogs start barking, and I saw them. They were kind of pacing and running from here to the front porch and then back. And then I heard other howls. And I've lived in the desert before, so I know what coyotes sound like, and it sounded just like, babies crying, or like a big, baseball game going on. And Shawn came out here, he locked the dogs up, and he said that he could hear coyotes up here. So that answered our question right there. So we're gonna keep this intact because we do not want anything to happen to those puppies until they're old enough to be able to defend themselves. So that's my little story. Coop is coming up the hill. He had a hard time starting his, what was it?
They call it something, but it's a fancy name for a forklift.
So yeah, he had his forklift down there, and I guess he had a hard time getting it started. But there's our coop. So we're gonna put the pen right here, and this is the little chicken door with the ladder. So there's their opening there. And then here's the access for the nesting boxes right here when they get to laying. So this coop has 12 nesting boxes, which means we have room for a lot of chickens. And these windows, we like how they flip open like that. And there's the protection on the inside there. So we got this one here. So that's what it looks like on the side. And then there's the door to go in. And there are 3 roosting bars. And then there's the nesting boxes. So we'll get some wood to cover these up for now, since they're not laying yet. And our first job before we, after we get the pen where it needs to be, then our next job is gonna be, we bought some stick-on linoleum tiles to put down here that we're gonna put in here so that it's easier for clean out when we get to that point. So, and then we close the door, and it's got the ventilation up top, which is nice. And there is electricity. And the door latches just like that, and there's a lock. So if we wanted to lock it up, we could. So there's what the back of the coop looks like. And this other side is just flat, or just straight. There's nothing on it. There's no windows or anything, because that's where the roosting bars are. So we've got some work to do. I'm excited to have it here, and we're gonna get back to work. up the back panels of this run, and we stole a roof piece from the top of the dog's cage, which the dogs don't really need it anyways. And I was just telling Shawn we can use the tarp that was on top of the dog's cage for this. And even if we just put it over that arched piece and left this open, that will still give them plenty of shade, because they do get a lot of shade, as you can tell, although it's not a sunny, the sun's not out right now. But these trees here provide a lot of shade over here. So I think that would be a good solution. And the dogs, they don't usually just hang out in their cage. When they need shade, they go under the house, they go on the porch, they go under cars, wherever they can to get shade. So their kennel is kind of their last resort. And I was just inside. I swept it out first, then I vacuumed it out, and now I just got done wiping it out with hot soapy water and a towel, and it's kind of drying now. I put a light bulb in, so we have light in there. And as soon as this dries, I'm going to start sticking down the linoleum pieces that we got. It's coming along. The chickies are anxious. Okay, I'm getting ready to stick these puppies down. So I laid them out just so I know where to start. And I brought myself a little fan so I'm not sweating so much. And I'm going to get started. Hot out here. So as you saw, the girls and Shawn worked on leveling out the run and kind of attaching it as close as we could. I think there's still some more work to do. We've got some holes on the sides, and we have all of that hardware cloth over there that we're going to use again to run around the bottom portion of it, and also up against this gap right here. So I finished putting the linoleum down on the inside, and it looks really good. I'll take you around and show you. Still have my fan going on in here. But there's the floor, and that will be very helpful when it comes to cleaning out all of the bedding and the litter or whatever you call it on the ground, because it'll be nice and slick, and so we can just sweep it right up. So before we can get chicks in here, we have to cover up the nesting boxes. So we have, I keep telling Shawn we need to use the barn wood that we have down in Big Barn from the shed that we took down, because we have some big pieces, and it doesn't have to be anything fancy for now because it's temporary. You know, in about 3 or 4 months when they start laying, then we'll unblock it all and we can get rid of that piece of wood. So hopefully he'll agree with me and we can just get that done so we can get the chickens out here. Okay, we are just about done for the day, and we just got a rain shower, so Bailey and I were trying to get bedding down on the floor of the coop in the rain, so that was nice and fun, and it made for a muddy entry here. So we're gonna put these rocks there kind of as a step, so it's not, we don't have to worry about mud every time. But let's go in because I'll show you the chicks are in. Oh, let me open the door. There we go. And they've already found the roost bars. Got their food in here. Let me climb in here real quick. I'm bringing their the brooder plate in. But they probably don't need it because it's so warm out here. But if you see, we have Gunther. Gunther is like the runt of the litter. He's not really, but see how small we keep calling him a he, but she's over there. She's just really small. I know she's the last one born out of all of them, probably by a week, but we're not really sure. I mean, she seems to be growing, but she's just so small, and we've been watching her and we have not seen anybody pick on her, so that's good. But she just kind of, she's always the last one for everything. And Shawn's trying to pick somebody up.
There you go.
There you go. You got Ross.
You're okay.
I just got back. I had to run Natalie to work, so she should be getting her license on Wednesday. Today's Sunday, so 3 more days she'll go get her license. I'm coming back to the coop because I need to put this brick underneath the little waterer that I have for them. Shawn is going to build me some other type of waterer, but until he does that, I just have the little Rent-A-Coop little nipple drinker that they've been using. And I noticed just now, I came in here and looked at him, and I noticed that little baby Gunther, poor thing, she was getting water and it was too high for her, so she had to jump up every time and get a little sip of water and then jump up again to get another one. So I'm gonna put this brick down underneath it, and that'll give her a little step so she'll be able to get some water a little bit easier. Oh look, they found their little brooder plate again. So they're staying warm under there, which is fine. Let me close this door real quick and turn on the light. All right, so there's the little waterer. Sorry, chickies. I'm gonna put this down for Gunther. And if I put it down there, then when she wants some water, there she goes. She can hopefully step up there and get some. There she is, little baby Gunther. Go ahead, baby. But they're getting so big, it's so cool to watch them. There's Hammer. That one's Hammer. He, we hope, is our only rooster. I know it's a little early to tell, but from what I've read, like, all of the rest of them have their tail feathers, and Hammer does not. And that's kind of one of the things that I've seen, is that the hens usually get their tail feathers sooner than the roosters. Oh look, she's going for it. Oh, there, it's a little bit better for her. Good girl, now she can reach it. Awesome. And then I put the food up. We have another feeding, what do you call it? I want to say feeding something, it's not a feeder, for their food that we ordered. So that's on its way. I think it's supposed to be here Tuesday or Wednesday. And once we get it, we'll put that out in the run. But for now, this is where they are for now until we can get the run predator proofed, and then tomorrow they'll be able to get out into the run. So I'm gonna go ahead and end the video here in the coop. It has been a day of taking care of the chickens, but I know Shawn and I are both so relieved that it's here and that we can clean up our laundry room and get that back to normal. And these guys have a little bit more space now. So thanks for watching. We'll let you know what we get into this week. Bye. You want to say bye, Joey? You want to say bye, Joey? Anybody over there want to say bye? All right, I think they said bye. All right, I know I said that I was ending the video, but today is actually Monday. It's July 25th, and I wanted to share with you what Shawn and the girls worked on today as I was at my first official day back to work. So while I was at work, they came out here and they macked this run out. I love it. I think it looks so good. Yesterday, we put down this hardware cloth, and it actually has about an 8-inch apron here, and so they filled that in with rock on top of it. So if there's a predator that tries to get in there, they're going to dig down under all of that rock if they can, and they're going to find more hardware cloth. So that is pretty good there. And the other thing on this side, so this gate hasn't been done yet. We just have to cut another piece of the hardware cloth. And so that's why this is sitting in there, because that gap between the door and this side, little baby Gunther can get through that. So that's just temporary. It'll get fixed tomorrow. On this side, we didn't have enough of the hardware cloth to run it the same height and length all the way down. So what we did was the piece that we had left, we cut it in half, and you can kind of see it sits up a little bit higher, but then that's why this telephone pole is here. It is extremely heavy, so it can't be rolled out of the way very easily, and it is kind of serving as a barrier there for the bottom. So again, a predator would have to try to dig in this very hard ground and go underneath that telephone pole. And then the other thing that he did is in the center there where we added this extra piece, because we opened up the wings of the back, and then we stole the roof part from the poultry pen that the dogs were in because they don't need a roof. It was sagging just a tiny bit right here. So he took this cedar post, well, this is a cedar tree that he cut down, and he cut it to size. He said it goes about, I forget how far down into the ground he said it goes, but it's, I mean, that puppy is in there. It is not moving at all, and it's holding up the roof. And then he also put another piece of that telephone pole there because there was a small gap between where the skids held up the coop and the ground. So now it is just really, it's really cool. I think the chickens are loving it, and I'm just really excited about it. So I wanted to share that because I think it's really cool. So they're loving their first day in their run. They slept in the coop last night, and I think they did good. So, all right, now this is officially the end of this week. See you next week. Bye.